The security gates of Whitmore Manor didn't creak. They hissed open, quiet and effortless, like everything else Charles Whitmore owned, flawless and beyond question. But on this particular morning, the quiet wasn't reassuring. It was hollow. It was tense. A white Rolls-Royce glided up the circular driveway and stopped in front of the steps. From inside the mansion, no butler rushed to open the door. No staff lined up, because everyone, even the help, knew something was wrong. Inside, Charles Whitmore, the billionaire with more money than the GDP of small countries, stood at the window, coffee in hand but untouched. His gaze wasn't on the car. It was on the little girl, running barefoot across the garden. Maya. She wore a red hoodie, hanging off one shoulder, and carried a crumpled backpack that looked like it had survived a dozen rainy nights in alleyways. But none of that mattered to the creature walking beside her. Max, the Rottweiler no one could control. The same dog Charles had nearly put down. He wasn't just walking beside her. He was smiling, if dogs could smile. His ears perked, his mouth open, his tail wagging. A calm, rhythmic sway that matched the beat of Maya's steps, like they were tuned to each other's heartbeat. 3 days ago, Maya had stood outside that very gate, dirty, hungry, and invisible to everyone but Max. Today, she was the reason Charles's life would never be the same. And somewhere inside the house, Charles's younger brother David was dialing lawyers, because the world had seen the video, and the world remembered the words. "I'll give $1 million to anyone who can calm this dog. $1 million, right here, right now." Charles had said it, out loud, on camera, in front of guests, staff, and God. He didn't expect a 10-year-old homeless girl to walk through his garden and change everything, but she had. And now, David wanted the whole thing buried. "Don't be a fool, Charles," David snapped, bursting into the room. "You were angry when you said it. No one enforces a bet made in jest." Charles didn't turn from the window. "I meant it. She's a child. You think she knows what $1 million means? Do you think this will look good in the papers? You gave a fortune to a homeless street kid because she touched a dog." Charles turned, finally. His face was calm. Too calm. "She didn't touch a dog. She healed one." David scoffed. "She's manipulating you." Mac outside barked once. Inside, Charles smiled faintly. "Funny, that's what they said about Mother." David froze. No one spoke about their mother. Not after what happened to her. Not after the way her rescue work was mocked, destroyed, and quietly buried. But Charles remembered. Charles had always remembered. And Maya reminded him of her. That wild, unpolished love for animals. That fire. That refusal to be dismissed. "She's staying," Charles said simply. David leaned closer, venom behind his whisper. "If you keep this girl, you lose the board's confidence. You lose leverage. You might lose your company. Then maybe it's not worth having." David stormed out. Charles watched Max nuzzle Maya's hand. Some things were worth more than empires. It didn't take long for the media to catch up. Billionaire honors one bet to homeless child who tamed vicious dog. Is she a miracle worker or a master manipulator? From street to suite, the girl who changed Whitmore's heart. The world split in two. One half saw a fairy tale. The other, though, smelled a scam. Maya didn't care about any of it. All she cared about was Max. In her new room, she curled up beside him every night. She whispered to him, sang to him, told him stories about trash can kittens and abandoned puppies she'd found behind grocery stores. Max listened, like her words were rain in a desert at breakfast. He waited for her to finish before he touched his food. At night, he slept beside her pillow, chest rising in perfect time with hers. The guards began to greet her with nods. The staff started sneaking her extra cookies. Gloria, the housekeeper, had taught her to braid her hair. She belonged, until she didn't. The night Charles didn't come home, Maya felt it. Max whined, pacing near the door. A new man in a dark suit came instead. Cold smile, empty eyes. "Mr. Whitmore is unwell," he said. "Temporarily removed. The board felt he needed rest." Maya stood up straight. "That's not true," Max growled. The man didn't flinch. "You're a child. This is a private estate, and you're here at the kindness of others. That kindness can be withdrawn." They locked Maya's room that night. disconnected her phone, placed a second leash on Max for safety. Gloria found her crying into Max's fur. "They're trying to erase me," she whispered. Like I was never here. Gloria handed her something. A battered old iPhone with one working button. "Then don't let them." Maya's video exploded. She stood in the driveway, wind in her hair. Max at her side. "My name is Maya. I don't have parents. I don't have a trust fund. But I had a dog who was hurting. And I helped him." That was the deal. A man made a promise, and he kept it. But now people want to pretend it didn't happen. They say I don't belong here. They say this love isn't real. She knelt beside Max, but love is real. He's real, and I'm not going anywhere. The video hit 20 million views in 2 days. Celebrities reposted it. Veterans with PTSD wrote threads. Animal shelters received record donations. The world had chosen a side, Maya's side. Charles came back, not quietly. He walked up to the gates with reporters, signed papers live on camera, and took back control of his estate. David was ousted, permanently, and that very day, Charles held a press conference. "I promised Maya $1 million, he said, hand on her shoulder. She didn't ask for it. She didn't want anything but to help. But I'm giving her something bigger than money." He handed her a deed to a new foundation, Maya's Haven, a place for children and animals who need healing. Together, Maya's hands shook. She looked at Max. He licked her face. The cameras snapped. A billionaire's empire had been shaken by a homeless girl and her dog. Years later, people still talked about the day the gates opened, the day a bet became a bond, the day a little girl with no shoes changed the heart of the coldest man in town. Max died peacefully at age 16. Beside Maya's feet, surrounded by children and rescues and sunlight. Maya never spent the $1 million. She gave it all away, 'cause some things money can't buy. But love, it's the most powerful promise of all, and she kept it forever.